Hello, writers. Today we are going to continue to talk about bum, 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 how to write a true story. Because remember, this is the new kind of writing that we are doing. And even though we're at home, all of us, we're all going to keep on writing because brave writers keep writing always. So, we're going to talk about how to write a true story. And if you remember, from last week when I talked to you a little bit about it, which, by the way, you sent me some fun stories. Too cool. First, we have to think about something that happened, right? Think, think about something that happened, something that we did, something that happened in our own lives, something true, right? So I challenged you to think about something real that happened. And then writers, when they're getting ready to write, the best way to become super writers is to practice telling your story with a storyteller's voice. Just like we did with those immersion stories. Do you remember when we were telling the stories about Little Red Riding Hood and the Three Little Pigs and Alexander and the Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad Day? Remember when we would tell those stories and we would use writers, our writers, we would use our characters' voices? That's what we're doing when we're practicing to tell our story. We want to make sure that when we're telling our story, we're telling exactly what happened, the true things that happened, what the people in our story said, what the people in our story did. So, today I thought I would practice telling a story for you, just like how you sent me some stories that happened to you. So, I'm going to tell you a story because practice makes perfect. And when we practice telling the stories, they come out better when we write them. So, here comes my story. One evening, I was having dinner at my mom's house, and my whole family was there. My husband, Mr. Bjorkman, Olivia was there, Ben was there. We even brought our dog, Dash, and Dash needed to go outside to go to the bathroom. So I had to put him on his leash and I walked him out the door and out onto my mom's yard. And all of a sudden, he burst out in a loud bark because he saw one of his good doggy friends outside next door. And do you know that he took off running super fast? And I said, "Whoa, Dash, slow down," because I was still holding his leash. And even though he is a small, tiny puppy, he's pretty strong. And I had to run to keep up with him. So I was, slow down, slow down. I wasn't ready for that run. And once he got to his doggy friend, whose name's Bailey, he would jump on Bailey, and then Bailey would jump on Dash, and then Dash would jump on Bailey, and they run around in circles and get all twisted up in the leash. And they played and they played and they played, and they had so much fun with each other that Dash didn't want to go home. And even when I said, "Okay, Dash, it's time to go back to Grandma's," and I gave his leash a little tug, he was not budging. And I had to give it a little bit harder of a tug. And I said, "Okay, Dash, come on." And he was not budging. So I let him play for a little bit longer. And then because he's so little and Bailey is really big, Dash soon got tired out. So he was ready to go home. And as soon as we got into the house, he snuggled up next to Olivia on the couch and went right to sleep. So that was my story. And I put a little bit of dialogue, a little bit of what I said, and a little bit of sound. Remember, I was like, and I told all the details exactly as they happened, right? And there was a beginning, a middle, and an end. I told the story in order. So, writers, today just like last week, I want you to take the time to think about something that happened to you, something different than what you told me last time if you told me something. But take some time to think about something you did or something that happened to you. And then I want you to practice telling it to not just me. I want you to practice telling it to maybe a grown up at home. I know in Mrs. Torres's class, you guys told it to a stuffed animal. This time I want you to tell it to a grown up and then practice telling it one more time and record yourself doing it so that Mrs. Torres and I can hear it, because I can't wait to hear these stories. So your jobs today, think about your story and then practice telling your story with that storyteller's voice. One day, right? And record yourself telling that story. And then if you're really brave, you can try and write some of it down with words and pictures. Okay? Good luck. Off you go.